Hi lovely reception children, it's Miss Swan here, ready with a maths video for you. So this week in maths we have been learning about addition. So we are talking about putting two groups together and working out how many there are. Okay, so we've got some star words, so let's get those in our head. So I'm going to say them, so my turn, then your turn. Okay, now some of them have actions, so if there's an action, I'd like you to join in with me. Okay, so we've got add. Okay, we're making the symbol. Add. Another way to say add, addition. Addition is equal to. Now, we can say equals, but if we want to use our wow words, the best words we can use, we say is equal to. Is equal to, just like the symbol as well. We've got equation, the way that we write the addition, so what we've just done. Number, object, so we're going to be using objects today. Number bond, and number bond is just a way to show that number. So how can we make that number? And what we're doing today is we are learning about something called the part-whole model. It's quite long to say. Can you have a go? Part-whole model. Part-whole model. Amazing. So we've got some actions for that. Okay, so when we want to do part, I'm going to go back so I can show you part. So these are the parts, okay? There are two parts when we're doing addition. So you're making, let's do it like this, let's do it forward actually. So we've got our parts, okay? So show me parts. One part, two parts, and then we've got the whole, okay? The whole, okay? So show me parts, show me the whole. Show me the parts, show me the whole. Amazing. So when we say part-whole model, we can do it like this. Part-whole model. Can you do that? Part-whole model. Your turn. Amazing. And a model in maths is just how we show something. So I've got a picture to show you of that model. Okay, it's going to help us when we come to do our addition. Okay. So for today, we're just going to practice exploring the part-whole model, okay? We're not going to be writing any equations today, but we are going to be saying them out loud, okay? We will focus on our writing of the equations tomorrow, okay? So I'm going to show you a part-whole model, okay? It looks like this. So you'll see that there are circles. So 1, 2, 3, there are 3 circles. So this is that model I was talking about, the part-whole model. Okay, so have a little look here. Now, it can be like this, or it can be like this, okay, or it can be like this, okay. I like to do it this way, okay, but you might like to do it that way. As long as you've got 1, 2, 3 circles, and then this is the whole, and these are the parts, okay. Now, the parts are next to each other. It's important that the parts come from the whole, okay? As long as you've got that, so the whole and the parts coming through the whole, then it doesn't matter which way around it is, okay? So I'm just going to show you those bits, okay? So this part here is the whole, so I'm just going to write whole. And then what do you think these two might be? Amazing, the parts. I'm going to write part and part, okay. So have a little look. So we've got the whole. You can do the action for the whole. The whole, bring your 2 hands together, and then the parts. So 1 part, 2 parts, like that, okay. Let me see if I can balance it and show you. Part, whole, okay. Part, whole, okay. So the parts, when they come together, they make the whole. The whole, when we split them into 2, we get the parts, okay? So it shows us the relationship in addition. So between the whole and the parts and the whole, okay? Fantastic. So I'm going to show you how that works. So the whole, okay, now today we're working with 20, okay? Now if 20 is a number that you're not sure about yet, you're not sure how to count out 20 objects, don't worry. You can choose another number. So you might want to choose 10 first, okay? But I'm going to be showing you with 20 today, because by the end of reception, we want to be doing addition within 20, okay? So I'm going to count out 20 objects to go in my whole. So the whole is how many there are all together, okay? So I'm going to count out 20. Now, you could use any object you want, okay? Now, I've just drawn this. You can either print the one I've put online, or you can draw it too, okay? So I've got some objects. I've used blue tack. Now, this is actually pink tack, so I've got a different colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count out 20 of the thing that I found in my home to do the whole, okay? So the number that we're starting with, how many altogether? So I'm going to count them out. 1, I've done it so I can stick them and show you. 2, you can count with me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I've put my 20 objects into the whole. Okay, so I can say the whole is 20. The whole is 20. So that just means how many there are altogether. Okay, now we've started with 20 because today we're trying to find out how many different ways we can make 20. Okay, so I'm going to write the number so I don't forget it. Okay, so I'm going to write 20 in my whole because I've got 20 altogether. Okay, so you can do this too when you're working it out. So I've got 20. So now that I've got my whole, I am going to split the whole into my groups. Now we're calling these groups parts. So I'm going to put some of my objects, some of my pink tack into this part, and some of my pink tack into this part. Okay, and I can do that in 2 ways. I can decide how many I'm going to put in here, or I can just put a few here, put a few here, and count how many I've got. Okay, now I'm going to start by putting, I think I'm going to move, so I'm going to move some of my objects into this part, some into this part. I'm going to start with, I think I'll put 10 in here first. I'm going to put 10 in the first part. Now, I'm not getting any new objects. I'm using the objects that I've already got in the whole. Okay, so I'm going to move 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and I'm just going to check, because we always need to check how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I've got 10 in this part, so I'm going to write 10 here. Okay, so I've decided I want 10 in there. Okay, now because we might not know all of our number bonds to 20 yet, that's what we're doing today, we're figuring it out. I'm going to move the rest of my objects into the second part and count how many go in there. Okay, so you can count with me, help me. Let's figure out how many go in our second part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many objects are in this part? 10. If you're not sure, you just count them again when you're doing it. Okay, so I'm going to write 10. Okay, so now we've done all of the steps with our part-whole model. So we're going to say it, what we've done, okay? Because before we write anything, we need to practice saying it first, okay? So I started with 20. 20 is the whole. The parts are 10 and 10. Your turn. The parts are and 10. Now, what I can do is I can swap that, so I can say 10 and 10 make 20. Can you say that? 10 and make. And now I can use my addition star word. So instead of saying and, I want to use add. And instead of use make, I'm going to use is equal to. Okay, so I can say 10 add 10 is equal to 20. Can you say that? 10 add 10 is equal to 20. And you can even use your actions. So you can say 10 add 10 is equal to 20. Okay, and that's all I've shown by moving my dots about. Okay, fantastic. So we can do another one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my 20 dots back to the middle because I found one way that I can make 20. I know that 10 add 10 is equal to 20, but I don't want to just show one way. I want to find another way to show 20. So our number bonds to 20. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just going back to the whole. So my two parts, when I put them together, they make the whole. I know that they make 20 because I counted out 20. And you can do this with any number, okay? Now, I know that the whole's 20. I can check by counting again. But this time, I'm going to rub out those two numbers for the parts because I'm going to pick a different number for the parts. So, this time I'm going to do... I'm going to do 13 in this part. Okay, so I'm going to count them out. 1, count with me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 got stuck together. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I've got 13 in this part, so I write the number 13. I like to write them because that helps me remember. Then I don't have to count them again each time. Okay, and then these objects left, I counted out 13 here. I'm going to put the rest of them in this part and work out how many there are that I need to add to 13 to get 20. Okay, so let's count. So we start from 1 when we use the new part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many in this part? 7. So I'm going to write number 7. Okay. So then I say it out loud. Okay. So I say I started with 20. 20 is the whole. The parts are 13 and 7. Your turn. The parts are and. Now I change that. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now I say it in my full sentence. 13 and 7 make 20. And make. And then I just use my addition style words. 13 add 7 is equal to 20. Can you say that? Add is equal to, and then I can do my actions. 13 add 7 is equal to 20. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today. I want you to start off by putting 20 objects in your whole, and then I want you to find out how many different ways can you make 20. So you're going to separate the whole, those 20 objects, into the two parts, okay? And then I want you to say it out loud, what you've been doing, and then use those addition star words, add and is equal to, okay? For this, you can take me some pictures of what you've been doing and email them in so I can see, okay? Bye, lovely reception children.